96.7 KCAL rocks. It is that time to do some sports on a Monday with our guy Pep. Pep, what's going on?
Oh man, right now the battle is raging on social media with hashtag We Want to Play because, guys, there is speculation right now that college football, we're talking about the Power 5 conferences like the Pac-12, which includes USC and UCLA, there's speculation that college football, period, could be postponed. And a lot of the coaches, a lot of the star college football players, athletic directors are stepping up on social media saying, no, hold on. Before you presidents of the schools make this decision, we want you to know we want to play. So right now, if you go on social media, there's a battle raging because there's speculation that college football could be postponed or canceled.
According to my sources, Big Ten is already canceling their college football and fall sports, or at least going to announce that. And the Pac-12 is supposed to do it tomorrow on Tuesday, possibly at least postponing. And I have a friend who's talked to 5 college coaches, and they think that it's not going to happen. That's what I've heard.
I mean, the crazy thing to me is it seemed like if you go back to a month ago, I think a lot of us were kind of just foregone conclusion, college football wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And then, sort of out of nowhere, they started putting out schedules, talking about how they're going to play, and it just seemed like, where's this coming from? And now I think we're kind of getting back to reality of oh yeah, no, college football's not.
You're right, Pep. When I saw Michigan's schedule, I was like, what?
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, I think it wasn't the Big Ten that was going to start September 3rd, which is really in just a couple of weeks. You were right. They're rolling out all these schedules, and I felt more confident about college football than I felt probably about any other, major sport across the country, including the professionals.
I think we're seeing now that maybe that was just wishful thinking. If we get a schedule out there, kind of like what the NFL did, let's just get a schedule out there and show some confidence, and it'll happen, right? You got to believe it to achieve it.
Pep, this is something that 40 has kind of talked about too, is baseball and the situation of them kind of screwing things up like in Miami, is that striking fear into these other sports who are going to have a tougher time, much more close contact, things of that nature.
I'm not sure because, okay, for example, let's look at the NBA. That's as close a contact as you're going to get, right? That's, in my opinion, that or wrestling, let's say. And the NBA is doing a pretty good job inside the bubble, no positive cases.
But that's your point.
The bubble.
Bubble. You just said it right there. Everyone's out of the bubble. Trouble.
Yeah.
I like that saying.
Bubble trouble.
Out of the bubble.
Once you go out the bubble, here comes the trouble.
But we have seen, for example, the Ohio State. We've seen a lot of these big-time college programs, and I think Clemson's practicing right now. They've done it. They've had a couple positive cases in the case of the Buckeyes, and they've still pushed forward to keep the workouts going. So I think they've built a little confidence in themselves, saying, okay, we know there's going to be positive cases. We also know that it's very slim that one of these players could actually show symptoms and or become very, very sick and to the point that they have to be hospitalized. But they know it's going to happen. They've kind of worked around it already during these workouts during the summer. But again, that's the players and the teams. The people making the decisions are the school presidents, these chancellors that sit on these boards. So if it's up to the players and coaches, it sounds like they want to play, but it might not be their decision at the end of the day.
Better fasten your seatbelts.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately, college football looks like it is in jeopardy. And then you see, the NBA's doing great. Major League Soccer found a way. Major League Baseball's, it's been a roller coaster, but they're still going forward. Man, it's just, I think every league is a little bit different. The shoe it's not one size fits all. The shoe doesn't fit on every single foot. It's going to be a little bit different from every, from college football to hockey to the next.
But if that foot is in a bubble, it is way more protected.
There's no that. The NBA's proven it.
Trouble outside the bubble, or whatever.
Thank you.
Hey, we've got more to get to. We've got a little NBA, a little baseball for you, a little soccer as well. It's all brought to you by Matheson Gas, the gas professional. So if you're going to fire up that barbecue, you need a propane refill, you can let this be a reminder to head over to Matheson Gas and swap out your tanks. They got 3 locations across the Inland Empire in Fontana, Rancho Cucamonga, and Riverside. So you get that refill. You can also get your cooling supplies. It's going to be heating up across the IE. You can also get your welding supplies. But again, number one in the gas game, that is Matheson Gas, the gas professionals. So as we move to baseball, The best team in baseball right now are the Oakland A's, and apparently they know how to get down too, because they had a huge brawl against the Houston Astros, and everybody, and I mean literally everybody, is in the corner of the A's supporting them against those no good Astros.
Everyone wants to see the Houston Asterix get their butts kicked.
Man, it was unbelievable, the brawl, because the guy, Ramon Laureano, got beamed. He got hit. He was going down to first base, and that's when the brawl erupted. It was like a delayed brawl. But again, with the Astros being enemy number one, like Joe Kelly of the Dodgers is now a national hero, and now we've got Laureano of the A's.
Well, right there, you bring up the name Joe Kelly. He got 8 games for missing a guy. What's going to happen now that we had actual contact and then we had an actual brawl? Like, can you start suspending guys as you're losing guys to COVID too?
You're right about that.
Yeah, 40, you're exactly right. And I think the baseball fans and that baseball community are going to go nuts if the Astros, because it was not only the Astros pitcher, but it was also the bench coach who kind of instigated it from the dugout. They're basically saying, hey, baseball, you need to come down hard on Houston, and if they don't, yeah, there's going to be a lot of anger out there.
Well, they still gave him that championship, so I'm going to guess they're going to keep going easy.
Yeah.
They might. Unfortunately, they might, but we'll see. Baseball will probably make a ruling maybe later today or Tuesday on what they're going to do with Houston after that brawl with the Oakland A's. But the A's do have 12 wins. The Dodgers are right there. They've got 11 wins. They beat the Giants 6-2 yesterday. And the number one team in all of baseball right now in terms of home runs, the Dodgers. The Dodgers have hit more home runs than anybody else right now. And their lineup is stacked, and they're proving it. And they're going to be pretty good, I think, during this 60-game sprint to finish the season.
Always good to have a little pop in the bat.
The only stat I care about more than home runs this year is how many Astros are hit by balls.
Okay, there you go.
And I think that number is going to increase in the coming days.
That's what I want to see.
40 watch.
More balls on Astros.
Guys, I know you're both basketball fans, but be honest. Have you ever heard of the name T.J. Warren before this week or before he busted up the Lakers over the weekend?
Nope, have not.
T.J. Warren of the Indiana Pacers is by far the leading scorer inside the bubble. He had 39 against the Lakers. He has posted like 50 points. I mean, if you look at his average, it's well above 40 right now. And T.J. Warren, again, I'm going to have to echo what you guys just said and reinforce that. I had not heard of this guy and before he went off inside the bubble.
I mean, one thing I heard about the bubble is it's good for shooters because the baskets stay the same, where they say from stadium to stadium, arena to arena, the depth perception goes off depending on how they are with the crowd and stuff there. And they're like, this is a solid one, and once shooters zone in on it, they are going to hit.
You're right. The background is very key.
Yeah, so T.J. Warren, whatever his secret sauce is, yeah, he's been lighting it up inside the bubble for the Pacers. He got the Lakers over the weekend, and he seems to be the guy right now. Again, we're not going to have an MVP bubble man, but he's certainly making a case he's a star, and I had never heard of this guy before this week. So
sometimes no trouble in the bubble.
And in the bubble, we're actually going to get one of those playoff scenarios they had talked about, it looks like.
Yeah. The number 9 slot. That's right. There's gonna be a little play-in game.
Yeah, the play-in game, which is an interesting dynamic. And again, that's why they let any team that was still within striking distance of a playoff spot, they let them inside the bubble, because who knows? You never know what happened. Who could slip into that number 8 seed? And now we're gonna have two teams battling for that 8 seed at the end.
It was pretty much kind of the Damian Lillard, Zion Williams rule. We know Zion is not going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Damian could still be a part of it with the Trailblazers.
I like this. They add one more option so then no one can complain. You had all the chances to get in, so if you didn't, too bad.
The cool part is the game for that is going to happen on Saturday, but if the 9 seed beats the 8 seed, they have to then do it again the very next day. The 9 seed would have to win twice over the 8 seed.
I like that. It's like in bump out. Prove it.
Right.
It is. I love that. It's like almost like March Madness. You got to win to advance. You know what I mean? Survive in advance. So it's kind of cool. And finally, guys, we go from the NBA bubble in Orlando at Disney World to the Major League Soccer is Back tournament. And we just got word that the MLS will continue their season once they get outside the bubble of Orlando at their home stadium. So August 22nd, mark it down. LAFC will host the LA Galaxy on August 22nd in LA.
That's good because LAFC was out of the tournament, and I was not going to watch any more of the soccer bubble.
That is very true. But I mean, once again, out of the bubble could be trouble.
I hope you're wrong, but you might be right.
Let's get the T-shirt. Put together the T-shirt right now.
All right. Isn't that right, Pep? Tell them how to get your stuff.
Inland Sports, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We got the YouTube channel as well. We're talking about local athletes and coaches right now as we get ready for the local season for high school and colleges in December and then January.
Thanks, Pep. Perfect, dude.